Yeah! Wizardz is in the house again. Yeah. You're a fucking That's right. Yeah.
Welcome to the Wizardz of Pod, the greatest talk show in the universe.
Welcome to the pilot episode of Wizardz of Pod. Salutation, salute, and shalom. Today, as always, we will be bringing you some top trending and not trending topics from around the universe. A little bit of news, sports, entertainment, all abundance of tomfoolery. I am your host, Jim. Right over here we have Bill.
Should I have a boner right now?
Yes, you should. You should definitely at least have a semi-boner.
Semi-boner.
But be fully cocked at the same time, not half-cocked.
What? You take what you can get.
What's that?
You gotta take what you can get.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I'm distracted by my beer that's unopened.
Yeah. I got a little kind of funny, unique item that I wanted to show you. It's going to be a YouTube video, and I'm going to put it up in a second here for you and see what you think about it. I thought it was pretty much awesome when I first saw it. So let me pull it up. I got to pull up the screen share.
Let's take a damn look at that thing.
What's that?
I said, let's take a look at that thing.
Yes.
This just turned into a Slurpee. That's how cold that is.
Let me put it on.
Ooh, cold motherfucker.
So check this out.
Alright.
Can you see the video?
Yes.
Alright.
The lake. Does it really go into the water? Yes, it most certainly does.
What?
Operating the unit as a yacht is simple. When entering the water, the driver continues moving forward until the wheels float free of the ramp. The road transmission is placed into the neutral position, and the marine transmission is placed into drive. Once in the water, steering is done with a touch of a joystick in the cockpit.
You see that thing?
A rudder angle indicator.
What is it doing? Why is it doing that? Why is that thing doing that?
Steering is set. The front wheels
it gets
can
even
be used
better.
in conjunction with the rudders to improve steering in the water if needed for tight maneuvering. An additional instrument is provided to indicate the angle of the front wheels for landing and turning.
Look at.
The rear porch doubles as a deck. An optional fold-down deck is available.
Alright, I'm gonna exit that out. What do you think about that thing?
What can I mean, the only thing I saw was the RV. It looked like it was shitting people out of the back.
You saw it going in the
like.
water, though, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I saw it going in the water. It's just it's completely ridiculous. I don't even know what the fuck to say about that.
I know, it's crazy.
First of all those things about when you pulled the video up, that was a good start on getting the virus, by the way. It had all those things on the side that says PC could be running slow and all that. I guess that's an ad, but it didn't seem like it was too safe.
No, I have tons of viruses.
Nothing like advertising with something that nobody gives a shit about. What the fuck was that? That's what I want to know. That's my question for you. What was that?
What was the RV that went into the water and kept going?
I mean, that's what it looked like to me. I just don't understand how that's something that anybody would ever be into.
I don't know. I
You
would.
just
You wouldn't want to own one of those? You could just keep driving your RV right into the water?
all it looked like to me was a regular RV driving in the water. That's all. So are they saying it's a waterproof RV?
No, you can go through the water anywhere with it.
It's fine. Just go in and out of the water just like that.
Yeah. Drives in the water. Then it was just floating on the water. Like it turns on auto jet engines once it gets into water, and then it's like a regular boat in the water, and you can.
So it's floating like a boat. Like it doesn't have to be in 4-foot water. There's no restrictions. It can actually just.
Oh
float,
yeah,
like
driving in shallow water.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
No. That thing was going like a boat on water.
Look what this thing did. This is ice.
Nice. But
Jimmy's head.
Basically.
Jimmy's head with head.
Nice. So you basically could just drive that from, from New Smyrna to Daytona through the river or something, and be in an RV the whole time, and then just drive right out. You never have to park.
I'm going to tell you the main reason why it'd be great. You come off the highway, okay? Around this area, you go down 44, and you can just take a left right past Pub 44, go right into a retention pond, and then just stick your ass right out the back and take a shit.
Oh yeah,
definitely. And then right back out again, right back on the road, no problem. You never have to worry about dumping the RV. That's another thing. You can shit in the RV and then just go in the lake and then just do like a boat does. Just take a shit into the river, piss.
Did you see at the end how the back flips down into a deck too? When
no,
I just off of the back.
I just saw everybody jumping out like a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah, no, there was a deck below them.
Get a boat. I mean, if you like the water that much, just go get a boat. What do you got an RV for then? Oh, let's load the kids up and just drive into the river.
I know, but you're spending a lot on an RV. Like, it's like a houseboat, regular house, and a driving machine all at the same time.
I want to see that.
What's that?
I want to see the guy that buys it and then realizes that he paid way too much money for it, doesn't realize what it does, and he's like, I need to collect insurance on this. I'm going to drive it into the river. And then it doesn't fucking sink.
My only thing is, probably if they could afford an RV, they could also afford a nice houseboat too, or a nice yacht or something. That would be my only downfall.
Or how about a pool? Just go get a pool if you're worried about the water that much. I don't want a boat, and I want a recreation vehicle, but I really like the water, and I don't know what to do about it. Go get a fucking pool. I just saved you probably $300,000, $400,000. How much is that thing? Do you know?
I don't know. I wonder. That's what I'm going to look that up real quick. So
Saving hundreds. That's a new segment, Saving Hundreds with Bill.
Yeah.
I just saved you hundreds by 10 by 10 by 10. My friend.
Yeah, let's see how much. Well, I'm getting all my viruses. I need your brother to come look at this and clear it up from
Come look at your viruses.
For sure. Alright, here's... I guarantee, how much do you want to bet they don't even say a price anywhere?
Because they really think they got something there.
What's that?
They really think they got something. They got a product that's just so good, everybody's going to be interested.
Yeah.
I would rather just go get a boat with wheels. They already have that. Don't they have like army issued things that go in the water and comes back out? I think they call them an RV.
It would be crazy as hell to see that thing in a...
If I was driving down the road and I saw somebody just go right in the river, I'd be like, oh my God, what the hell just happened? I'd be freaking out. I'd be on the phone.
Yeah.
Probably calling 911, maybe. Maybe I'll call 911. Actually, I would call 911. Your average person would take out their cell phone and just be like, oh.
Yeah, just start taking
Get a picture. Yeah, I got to get a picture of it first. Actually, that's probably where you got that from. Maybe it isn't a floating RV. It's just a random pedestrian.
I don't know. That's like their specialty, this company. They take like certain things that make them floatable, basically.
You know what else is float?
What's that? Poop.
I'm just gonna say poop joke. Poop joke.
Starting at $850,000.
$850,000.
Starting.
Go get a yacht.
You
I
get
feel like
one yacht and one RV. You have both.
you could tow $850,000 starting price.
Yes.
Realize how many. First of all, you realize how many houses you could get for that. How many houses? Fuck the recreation vehicle.
Yeah. But I mean, those RVs themselves aren't cheap. Like, that RV by itself is a good, probably $450,000.
Without it being a boat, right?
Right.
Regular RVs, they leak as it is and have water problems. Forget it being in a river.
Yeah.
I feel like we've already beaten this topic to death.
I think so too.
Drown that topic. Take that whole RV and just put it right in the river.
So let's move on to another topic that I'm gonna come up off the top of my head.
Okay.
What is the best soda to drink?
Are you talking about what is my favorite, or just the best for the community? Like,
No.
morally, what is the best soda? Huh?
What's your favorite?
Well, I mean, my go-to is always going to be Coca-Cola, but if I had to take that out of the equation, I'll tell you what is probably surprisingly one of my most favorites. I don't even like cream soda, but I particularly like an iced down version of Publix cream soda, because I don't know who they bought out or whatever, or got the recipe, and
Yeah.
that might be blasphemy to cream soda lovers, but you put that on ice, I drink it, I'm like, it's really smooth. Not a big fan of cream soda, but love that one, and it's Publix brand. I was duped, by the way. Customer of mine,
You
like,
said Publix cream soda?
Publix cream soda.
Yeah.
What's yours?
I'm kind of the same thing with you, cream soda wise at least.
Really? Oh, okay, okay.
They're I only like IBC though.
Ah.
I've never tried Publix though. But I'd say my second next to Coke is actually Mountain Dew for some reason.
Not bad, not bad. Obviously my favorite from back in the day was Surge. You already know that. And I think we talked about this before on another podcast.
Yes.
With the whole thing. Either, I don't know, was it live? We talked about it before. And Amazon ended up bringing it back temporarily. They had the 12, then when I went to go there to buy it, by the time I saw the news on Reddit, I'm like, oh my god, they're reissuing it? Well, it wasn't a reissue. It was when they went out in like 2002 or something like that.
Leftover stock or something?
Yeah, and it was the newer cans. I guess people, I don't know if they probably didn't keep them in the fridge, I don't imagine. I mean, some people, when they knew they were going out of business, people actually bought stock in it for their personal use because they loved the soda so much.
But how long does stuff stay good for, you think?
I don't know, because they came out with the original ones in the 90s that they came out with. Those ones would go for sale on eBay. You could look them up. They'll be for sale on eBay, and probably this applies to any soda from the 90s. They'll mention that, you know, some of the pop tops are loose, the carbonation's gone. They're not drinkable. They're not collector's items either. It's just a special interest, basically.
Right.
And with Amazon temporarily having them, they sold out. People resold them on eBay for over $100, for a 12-pack for Surge.
Wow.
And I'm like, great, that's just great, because they were actually reasonable for a soda that wasn't reissued but still drinkable that they sold on Amazon, because I don't even think they could sell food products on Amazon unless it's safe. So it had to have been something that was sealed and, you know, maybe not refrigerated, but at least in a controlled area to where, you know,
Yeah.
didn't have any problems. But By the time I got to it, it was on eBay, and I couldn't even buy a 12. I'm not spending $100 for a 12-pack of Surge.
Right, exactly. I got another topic I want to bring up, and that what do you think if you could pick any one video game you could go back and play for the first time over again, like you never played it before? Which video game do you think you'd pick?
What would you pick? Because I'll think while I listen to you.
I would probably say you got to go to me with original Mario. I know it's crazy, classic, but you know it was a good. It was just a good experience from the first time I walked in, you know, the door and saw Dad playing it on the TV screen, and I was like, oh my! And it was just like perfectly going right from level 1 to level 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I heard the music. That was the first thing I. Yep. I always go straight to that. You know, that's my favorite song out of any video game. That was like the most perfect thing I've ever seen. I was like, wow, this is an amazing game.
I'm not going to go.
I was like 4 years old at the time, and I still remember it to this day.
I'm trying to remember what the first video game I played. It may have been Mario Brothers, but
You mean like first console game? Like you might have played other games at like arcades and shit.
yeah. I mean, they had the tabletops and things like that. You could see them even at like gas stations and things. I mean, people had them around, but I think I may have had a handheld system first, like Game Boy or something like. Well, it had to be Game Boy. But the first thing I'm going to tell you, the first thing that comes to mind off the top of my head now, and it's not as old school, not nearly as old school, is for PlayStation 1, and I was very impressed. I played plenty of games before this, but I was very impressed with this game because I thought it was pretty innovative, and it's Warhawk for PlayStation 1.
Oh, really?
Do you remember that at all? Do you ever play it?
What was that like?
Warhawk was it was a flying game, but the thing is it was a free flying game. Like there's people not free like monetary, like fucking like free roaming. Free, you're flying around. You had Ace Combat. Do you remember Ace Combat?
Nope.
Perfect timing. All right. You had Top Gun, and then the newer
You're talking about PlayStation 1 games?
PlayStation 1, yeah.
Yeah, see that I never owned that. I was always like Nintendo bound, so I just stuck with the 64 and
I always liked Nintendo also. But the thing is if you had a PlayStation 1, or anybody that had a PlayStation 1 would know that was probably the most groundbreaking system compared to kart games, you know? You had good music, okay graphics sometimes. I mean, like, some of it was really realistic looking, but for the gameplay, like, if it had really good graphics at the time, for the time, and the gameplay, I would have preferred maybe lesser quality graphics and better gameplay, like normal with the Nintendo. But later on, they started coming out with some good games, and that's one that was the most innovative. It basically is Warhawk was a flying game, but it wasn't like a jet game where you fly through and then you have to blow up other jets and stuff like that. And it was you could free float like how a helicopter would move, and it had all kinds of swarmer missiles and crazy things lock on to targets and shoot certain things, and a lot of stuff was coming at you, and it was really action packed. And the best way that anybody could ever, like, if they never played it before, the best way to explain what I'm talking about is they'd have to go onto YouTube and check it out, because that thing was like, just by watching it, if you just put your brain back into that time period, it might not be the best graphics now to anybody, but they could have. Is it
like Top Gun, like times a million?
No, see, because that's what I was going to say. Ace Combat was really good graphics, and Ace Combat was like the better looking version to me. Like how Top Gun was innovative, then Ace Combat basically would be the equal to Top Gun, like the best graphics you can get. For me, from what I saw, Ace Combat was really good, but it was more like a Top Gun game. But Warhawk, it was just a flying death machine, and they just said you can go anywhere and do anything, all over the map, anywhere you want to. You're not in the air, it's a lot of ground battles too, sweeping down and you know, I wish I could say I'd had some sort of nostalgia thing from like the Nintendo era, like when I was way younger, but for some reason that was one of the most innovative games for the time. It just stuck out in my head, so I thought I'd say it.
Yeah, I went with like, you know, probably the most cliche answer that most people would probably say Super Mario or Zelda or, you know, any of those type of games.
Yeah, I was considering. I was on the edge of just going to say, yeah, I'm gonna be cool and make a cool answer. Like I'm just gonna say Zelda because Jimmy said Mario Brothers. I didn't do that.
Right.
You know, I was gonna say
Yeah.
because I will say I think the first time that I actually saw Zelda was at your house back in the day. You had Zelda and you played Zelda,
Right.
and I was like, oh my god, this game is fucking awesome because it's overhead view, and I was used to Mario with side-scrolling stuff.
Yeah.
Dungeons. I mean, and most of all, the music. I mean, it's the music for the time that actually is really good too. But yeah, that would have been a better answer if I just said Zelda. But that's what everybody would say.
Yeah. I mean, then you got other classics too that are not quite as classic as that, like F-Zero. I always thought was good. Great music on that too.
Yep.
And then Star Fox. Like the original Star Fox, that's probably like the closest second to me after Super Mario is Star Fox, for sure. That game was just seemed like a whole another level of games to me.
That's another flying.
What's that?
Well, it's another innovative flying game.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are used to side-scrolling and free roaming stuff, but not. And then you have your racing games and stuff like that. But then you're flying. Once you take them to the flying element, and then just put a little bit new, innovative spirit to it, then you got something that's great. And the funny thing is
they should make a Star Fox movie, actually. You know, like that Guardians of the Galaxy did so good. It's like, I think you could make a pretty badass movie out of those characters.
if anything, the only reason to me, video game crossover movies, and I'm not talking about like movies from the 80s where like they had something to do with video games and stuff like that. It wasn't actually from like a video game to movie. It was movies that incorporated video games.
Right.
The main reason for me why I would support video game movies is if they continue a franchise to where you can also get a cool video game out of it again because they still generated interest. Sometimes you have movies that are just like, to me, they're just there, so at least it generates interest, and instead of the actual game fading away, you're going to get another video game out of it. So if I were to say I don't support video game movies, then it's a part of keeping the franchise alive as long as it doesn't they end up not ruining it. Which sometimes they have. You gotta go take a shit or something. Well, see you later. So, how's it going? Anyways, I got something to share for everybody here. I want everybody to see this because I pulled up this picture last night and I thought it was pretty funny. That's a guy shitting out of a pipe, is what it looks like, but actually it's a shit pipe.
That's always going to be a great picture right there. Always.
That's beautiful. Shit pipe is what I call that one.
That's never not a good picture.
It'll always be one. It'll always be a good picture. That picture's the shit.
Explosive.
Explosive shit.
So, nobody probably notices that because I clicked on you, but so I went to piss. I don't know if you could hear it, but I was trying to piss on the like edge of the toilet seat, so it wouldn't make any noise on the podcast.
Right. You don't want you.
Just totally pissed all over the seat.
Nice.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
You know what's gonna happen if you didn't clean it up. You know what's gonna happen.
I know.
You're gonna hear a little bit of noise in the background, and it's gonna be, hey, maybe you should try it. I told Nicole one time that she put a target on the back of the seat. And I think she said, well, then you're gonna aim for the target. I'm like, well, I already tried to aim for the toilet bowl and I missed. So if I put a target on the back of the toilet and aim for the target, maybe it'll actually go in the bowl, and it won't go when I won't piss all over the place. See, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Innovation.
They should just have like a hole that's right there, and you can just put your penis through the hole and just, then piss through that, like a glory hole, but that's only a toilet on the other side.
A golden glory hole.
Yes.
It's interesting that you said pissing on the side of the toilet, because if you're at a guest's house and you know they're close to the bathroom, do you pee on the side of the toilet silently on purpose? Out of respect?
No. I try and blast it.
You're like, I'm going to excel with my manliness.
That's what I try and do. I try to make them think I have a horse cock.
That's it. I'm going to pee straight in the middle of the toilet and let everybody know. Not only can you hear it, but, you know, I'm going to make everybody believe. Nobody's listening. They're eating chips and fucking watching a show, but, you know, it's one of those things where it's just like, I do it at a customer's house. I definitely don't go for the center in the customer's house. There's no end game there. What's the end game? But to impress your friends, you want to be like, yeah, aim right for, show your dominance and piss straight down the middle and stand on the seat even. So it's just a higher stream.
Yeah, I used to think that if you would get closer, it would be louder, but you're right. I think the farther away you are, the louder it is. I thought it would just blast, but it kind of, if you're close, it breaks through the water, kind of like it's diving in.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you're right. You got to get up on top of the toilet seat.
Do a handstand if you have to. But the fact of the matter is in the morning, I sit down and I pee like a fucking girl because I'm tired as hell and I'm not standing up and pissing. In the middle of the night I will because I'm half awake and I'm like, I think what happens is your basic motor skills kick in. So then you have that like the genetics of a man. So you're going to be fucking 2 in the morning, you're standing up almost semi out of it, almost drunk, right?
I still sit at 2 in the morning even.
What's that?
I still sit at 2 in the morning. I do I sit in the morning. I sit at 2 in the morning, but all throughout the day I'm standing.
But you know, in the morning I'm just like, yeah, I sit down and yeah, sometimes I'll take a shit. I never shat at 2 in the morning. I've never had to take a dump. You ever?
I don't know. I think you have shat at 2 in the morning.
I definitely shit my pants while I was sleeping once. I woke up
in the morning.
I was this was when I wore, well, I do again kind of now, but real, like actual regular underwear. I was wearing underwear. I actually had underwear on, and I shit and I woke. I had a dream I was taking a real big shit.
Yeah.
Not a diarrhea, a real big shit. And
good thing the dream wasn't.
I can kind of remember a little bit. I was just so comfortable. What's that?
I said, good thing the dream wasn't about diarrhea.
Yeah, that would be worse if the dream was about diarrhea. But what had actually happened was, I sat on this toilet and was very, very comfortable. I remember having a warm feeling, a warm sensation, and I was like, that's really good. The worst part is of course I remember I didn't wake up right away. I took a shit and then I went and did something else in the dream. Like, oh, well, time to go and skateboard or something. And then I wake up with a log in my pants. A whole, like, a regular-sized turd, not broken off, no nothing. I was like, and then of course I did the walk to the bathroom trying to make sure that nobody saw me, and I was still dumbfounded that it even happened. And I pull my underwear down, and I'm looking, I'm like, that's just a whole... I was dumbfounded.
You were dumbfounded. Yeah, that's what I thought you said.
Twice. Number 2, dumbfounded. Because...
Double dumbfounded.
That was a double dump. I was double dumbfounded. I shit in my dream, and then I shit in real life, so technically, I shit twice. And it wasn't nice. And it didn't slice, because it was in one piece. And I looked and I was like, I didn't laugh. I wasn't disappointed in myself. I wasn't like depressed. I had no emotion. I just looked at it and was like, how? How does that happen? How do you think about it. If you're awake and you say, I'm going to take a shit right now, whether it's solid or diarrhea, just so it comes out solid. You're laying flat on the ground and you take a shit. Think in your head right now, how does that work? How would it not break?
I have no clue.
I'm in the bathroom. There it is, Log
right
City.
in the dream? Or you didn't get to see it in the dream?
It was clean. It was clean and warm. Like I said before, I had a warm sensation. I do remember the feeling. It actually was the best dump. I think probably the best dump I ever took because it was in dreamland. I had
I don't know when this happened to you, but you told me the story before, and just like a couple months ago, I had a dream that I shit, and then when I woke up, I remember that I dreamt that, and I just immediately thought of you, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta check. And it was the same sensation, like, that I pushed, and it came out nice and clean, but luckily I was safe. But after you telling me that story, I got a little nervous, for sure.
So you had a shit dream and woke up and instantly thought of me.
Yes. It was like instantaneously. As soon as I woke up, I go, oh shit, I had a dream about shit, and I wonder if I shit my pants like Billy.
Your dream was instantaneous.
Yes. Exactly.
Is that considered a shet dream instead of a wet dream?
Yes.
The shet dream, officially we're going to call it that?
Technical term.
Yeah. Interesting. That story was solid.
Yeah, for sure.
For Squirt.
Yeah, do you have any facts coming in anytime soon?
Any faxes? Yeah, actually I do have a fax coming in.
Okay. Let's check that out and see what you might have coming in.
In semi-useless fax?
Yes. This is our next segment is a new segment called Semi-Useless Facts, and it's done by Bill over there. So here we go.
Bill over there.
You better grab some liquor, 'cause you about to get caught by these semi-useless facts.
Semi-useless facts? Yes, definitely. Semi-useless facts coming in right now. Random.
Like a fax machine. How'd you do that with your picture?
I don't know. Somehow a picture of Will Ferrell came up, and he's just like, "What the fuck was that?" He's just the facts, man. Just the facts.
Who faxed you that? You know it is a fact that he has a twin brother who drums
in Red Hot Chili Peppers? Speaking of Red Hot Chili Peppers,
yes.
That's not something that you. It's nothing that you want to eat because it relates to this. Are you sending another fax in? I think I got a fax coming in. All right, hang on. Here we go. Here it is.
Okay.
I got it. Fax, hot right off the press on the fax machine. Okay. I would consider this a smegment.
Okay.
Because it's the closest thing I can think of shit, because we were just talking about shit, ironically enough, and in this segment, this is all about shit.
Okay.
A couple of the semi-useless facts that I have, there's a little bit of knowledge I can drop on you and to whoever it may concern that, you know, there's certain things in this world that you need to know about with poop. One thing in particular that I found out with shit is there's a molecular structure to shit, but it does constantly change, because you can have a solid shit, you know, you could have a loose, shitty diarrhea shit, you know, there's all that kind of stuff that can happen. So yes, it is constantly changing. So the fact of shit is it does have a molecular structure, but it constantly changes. So that's an important.
So basically, what you're saying is a shit could be a solid liquid, and then a fart is just the gas form of the shit. So
you have the gas form of the shit, but it's still Yeah, but the thing is that gas form that comes out is still going around the molecular structure of whatever it may be in your bowels at the time. So you got to understand exactly, and it still relates to the shit. So, and it is constantly changing depending on your food sources and things like that. So, yes, I figured that was an important semi-useless fact because you need to know that inside your body, and just like in the outside of your body, is constantly changing, and so is your to-do as well. So there's that on shit. And also, another thing that's a semi-useless fact, I think we have another fact coming in. I want to make sure that... Okay. Another semi-useless fact is, this is petrified shit.
Nice.
That's what that is right there. That's a real hard shit. You thought you had a hard shit.
Does it say Chipotle?
It's not. Well, there's a possibility that, you know, if you do eat at Chipotle and you actually max it out and eat it all and release later on in the day, it could actually look like that. So, yeah, although this is not an advertisement for Chipotle, that in fact is it copper light?
Copper light. Okay.
Is it copper tone?
It turns into copper light?
It's copper tone?
Copper tone? Nice.
All right, let me pull that back up real quick. That's important that we have that up there because although people see, you know, usually you're going to have like your dog can take a shit in the yard or who's ever dog or whatever happens. If you don't pick it up, it's going to end up petrifying. For instance, my dog, he goes into the house. He's in our house. He eats the drywall. One of my dogs is barking in the background right now, and he's telling me this right now. What's that? He eats the drywall and he takes a shit in the yard and builds pyramids back there. So what happens is he's got these little drywall shits and it hardens up and it turns white. I think that this in particular is the actual pre-whitening process. It is the hardening process, but it's the pre-whitening process.
Okay.
And it's not copper light, but it's cop-pro light.
Copper light. Okay.
Copper light, yes. It's semi-useless fact of the day. Second semi-useless fact. Number 2 is
the most important.
Actually, if you come across a petrified turd, it's called copper light. Just to let the viewing audience know that. And there's a couple things here and there that you just need to know, and it's a semi-useless fact. Semi-useless fact. But I think we have another semi-useless facts coming in. Do you know what that is?
It looks like a Hyundai Sonata hybrid.
That car runs on shit from people in California. They actually use... There's people in California that shit, okay? And what they can do, they haven't connected it directly to their ass, but that's probably coming soon. They have that car, and it is a Hyundai too. This is a Hyundai. Sorry for the layman, Hyundai.
Right.
This is actually a vehicle that runs on feces, fecal matter. I particularly would say, like, if you were to watch Back to the Future, I think they took the element from Back to the Future 2. He takes garbage, he sticks it in he converts garbage into, like, before it ran on plutonium or some shit. He had to rob, you know, some Arabics or whatever. I don't know what it was.
Yes.
It's just like today, like how we have to rob gas.
Did you say Arabics?
Yeah.
All right. So I'll go back to you.
So what happened was, yeah, everybody that watched the movies, he has to rob the Arabics for plutonium or whatever, just like we got to do the same thing to get gas today. And but now, California is actually taking their the people are going to Starbucks, okay? People are going to Starbucks, yes. Chipotle Grill, they're eating, they're drinking their coffees, they're taking big fucking shits, okay? Then they go into the sewer systems and they pump this up with what was actually excrement at one point in time, and then they drive around with it.
Nice.
So that's useless.
That's my favorite fact of the day. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, because, see, the thing is that's legit. I mean, Hyundai's making an SUV. So basically what you can do is you can go off-road with it, and if you're going downhill at a high rate, you shit yourself, connect a tube to your gas tank, and you can keep going.
Sounds about right. I like that one. That's my favorite. That's for sure my favorite fact.
You'll never run out of fuel. As long as you eat, you'll never run out of fuel.
That's true. It's the circle of life.
And that's the schmegment of useless facts.
You better grab some liquor, 'cause you about to get caught by these semi-useless facts.
Well, I guess it's more like you already got cocked by my useless facts.
Hondas will now run on poop. There it is. It's actually...
That's a poop turbine right there.
It's a poop turbine. This is what's going to happen
Wow.
when you take a shit in a Hyundai, and this is how it actually runs.
Nice. I like that.
So anyways, that's useless facts. Yeah, where's the crowd?
I would definitely. I'd personally give that segment an 8 out of 10. That was beautiful.
Nice. It might
No
always be... no shit. It might always be about shit. You never know. The viewers are just going to have to keep joining in so they can, see the useless facts. Every time... people say on a daily basis that I have a bunch of useless facts. I'll tell them something. They don't give a shit about what I say, but it's useless.
You have to at least
Semi-useless.
2 fact about shit every time.
A number 2 fact, yes.
That's every time. So.
Oh, and it was hard. It wasn't that hard to come up with it, but the number 2 fact tonight was actually hard because it's coprolite, which is petrified shit.
Yeah.
And
I like the I want one of those Hyundais for sure.
Mhm. That's what I'm saying. What I want to know is to combine a little bit of everything in this schmegment is there was actually a scientific value to the whole thing.
Right.
The first part.
I got a text from one of the viewers actually. Hang on one second.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that wasn't the Hyundai. That wasn't the turbine on the Hyundai. It's called the turbine. That's what it's called.
Thank you. Thank you for correcting me.
Thank you, Jonathan in Western Michigan. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan, in Western Michigan. Speaking of cars, thanks, Jonathan, for your for piping in and about a company in a place where there's complete automotive structure just completely failed.
Yeah.
If only.
It's American over there. I'm surprised you even know what the word Hyundai is.
Right, exactly. So here we are. We're in, what is it, Detroit, Michigan? Completely failed. You guys should have jumped on the poop train.
I don't know. He just wrote Jonathan, Western Michigan. I think Detroit's in the West.
Jonathan, Western Michigan. Maybe that is actually his Christian name. Jonathan, Western Michigan. I only have one beer and I'm slurring my speech.
Let me see. Let me text him real quick.
Yeah, text him back. Well, I'm going to tell the viewers, yes, Deuce does not have a particular molecular structure, but it can be broken down and put into a vehicle. So, in the useless fact 1 is...
Now, does it have to be in liquid form? Do you know if it has to be in liquid form when it's put into that car?
That brings me to useless facts number 2. The coprolite. I'm assuming by that time a lot of the whatever might be left in there, you got all your methane, your gas, and then it comes out and then it sits in the yard or sits. I'm assuming it wouldn't be human shit unless it was actually somebody shitting outside. And then there's got to be some things like there's some things there might be bugs or some sort of creatures that could come out, take whatever. If there is, I doubt there's any nutrients and shit.
Right.
As far as it goes with I actually still have it pulled up here. There's actually a blog spot where people are talking about the shit itself.
That's not a. I don't. Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Section in again. That's the site you're looking at isn't a blog. It's a B log.
It's a B log.
Yes.
Believe it. What they say here is this. It says about 3/4 of your average turd is made of water. The value is highly variable. The water content of diarrhea obviously is much higher. It passes through the intestines. There's no longer turd residue, so on and so forth. It says it's composed 1/3 of dead bacteria, microbes coming from the intestinal garden, blah, 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 blah. Sounds like just a big buffet of shit. There's dead cells and shit like that, and the intestines and the protein. So this is getting awfully disgusting, especially for anybody that may be eating it at this point in time. Basically what I'm saying is for something that doesn't have a lot of nutrients, it's already gone, it's fueled your body, and then it can be put into a vehicle. So to relate all three of the forms, shit does have molecular structure. The copper light.
For bed. She feels like she's gonna puke.
Well,
I'm trying to keep the medicine down. Sorry. Nothing that.
well, here's the thing. As long as you can actually puke into the vehicle, you might be able to run it as well, if that's part of the topic at hand. What's going on over there? Somebody puking?
So ridiculous.
So you're-
Yeah, I hear you. So let's cut this.
So we went from shit to puke, just like that.
Yes, shit to puke everywhere. But alright, let's we're running pretty close to an hour here anyways. Let's cut this short, take a look at it. I think our pilot episode went pretty good. So let's
Like
get this
Like a big turd, we'll have to cut it off.
exactly. Alright. Here we go. Outro.
Fuck.
Go.
Be.
Yeah.
Be.